weekly vlog number 31. So I'm sure some of you actually saw earlier this week I put a video up asking for help figuring out the problem with my computer, and I think I actually figured out the problem, even though no one really said much. Though one person did try and help. Let me see if I can find their name here real quick. So the person that actually gave some ideas, some suggestions, stuff to try, I'll mention only your first name just because reasons. It was someone named Trav, and they mentioned stuff on Twitter and on Facebook. Of course, didn't really help, but I'm pretty sure I figured out the problem anyways, and the problem is, I think, the motherboard itself. So I figured this out because I ran a very long test with MemTest86 last week, which is why the last video, weekly video, whatever, didn't have audio from this mic here. And when I went to bed one night, I noticed that the LED on my hydro copper was blinking. So I was wondering, what the fuck? Is that card faulty or something? I never noticed light blinking before. I don't know if the last card did the same thing or not. It probably did, but I have no idea. So I contacted EVGA, asked him if it was supposed to be blinking because it's a little weird. And it's not set to blink or anything in GeForce Experience because you can actually set certain blinking patterns on the graphics cards in GeForce Experience. And I just have it set to be a solid light. And they actually then told me, yeah, let's go and grab some power supply readings from your BIOS. So instead of just grabbing directly from BIOS, I actually ran Hardware Monitor. I downloaded FurMark and I gave them the power readings from Hardware Monitor while FurMark was running, while the system was idle, and from BIOS. And they actually mentioned that everything seemed fine. All the power readings I gave them were fine, and they then suggested that it's probably blinking because of the power from the motherboard. So if that's true, then that also kind of goes along with the suspicion I had from pretty much the very beginning, where increasing the power management option in the graphics driver from adaptive, which is its default, up to maximum performance, increasing playtime before a driver crash, sort of getting in my mind like, is there just not enough power getting to the system and everything? And the fact that they said, okay, the light is probably blinking because of the power going from the motherboard to the graphics card itself, all that kind of mixed together, them saying power supply, everything seems fine, and everything going on with the system being all random and just not making any goddamn sense. I think the problem is actually that the motherboard isn't feeding the proper power to the graphics card, or both graphics cards, I don't know. Everything else seems fine though, but because I think it's probably the motherboard, that means I have to swap out the motherboard. So instead of sending it in for a replacement, because it's possible that the motherboard type just is crap, because for once I actually bought something that's a 3 out of 5 rating instead out of a 4 or a 5 out of 5 rating from Newegg. Reason I did that is actually because it looked like everyone was just being stupid and like, oh, this won't post, we'll fucking upgrade the damn BIOS on the damn thing, make it so it supports stuff. But I thought they were just being stupid, and no one really mentioned that it had any power or RAM issues or just any problems at all aside from that. And it is possible that it's just a crap motherboard. So instead of RMAing that, sending it in, if I even can, I guess it probably has a 3-year warranty or something, but I never registered it or anything. And instead of sending it in for a replacement, and instead of buying another board to directly replace that and keep the processor, the CPU, I mean, and the RAM that I already have, since it's possible that something else is causing it, and I don't think the RAM is the issue because MemTest, everything passed. I don't think the processor is the issue. Prime 95 also passed. Instead of trying to find a direct replacement, the only motherboard replacement I'm able to find that would actually be decent and have good ratings and everything costs over $350 and comes with a bunch of extra crap that I really don't want. Instead of getting that and keeping the stuff, I'm actually deciding that I'm just going to upgrade my computer. So basically, I got the ASRock Fatality X99X Killer, which is an X99 board and everything, so it does support 2011 V3 socket, so I can't use the CPU or the RAM I have right now. So it supports DDR4 and everything instead of the DDR3 that I am using. And I got that ordered just a little while ago, actually. And I'm actually going to be using that for the replacement. And along with that, I'm also upgrading the CPU to an i7-5930K, because if I don't really get that, then it's not really going to be as fast as what I'm using, because I'm using a 4930K right now. And I'm also still going to have 32 gig RAM, and I'm going to be using the G-Skill Ripjaws 4 series, which is just 4 sticks with 8 gig each. And it is the 2133 megahertz RAM. So it is DDR4 and everything. And that's all stuff that's actually rated pretty good. And actually the RAM and the motherboard itself would look really nice in the case because it got red LEDs and everything. Of course, this does mean there's going to be some delays on Skyrim soon because I can't really record or do much. I'm obviously able to edit. I will still edit videos, unless I have to redo this video, then I'll mention that, whatever. But I'm pretty sure I can still edit. I haven't actually edited anything since reinstalling Windows, since before reinstalling Windows and running tests, actually. I mean, because I did reinstall Windows, but I can't really record anything until I get all the problems solved. So after I get the new board, new processor, and the new RAM, and put it in the system, and get everything up and running, then I will run tests, make sure there's no problems with the system. Hopefully that ends all the driver crashes. Hopefully that just fixes the problem completely. And if it does, then I will mention that I found the fix and I'll update with another video and everything. And that means I'll still be able to actually work on Borderlands 2 next, and I'll start getting Skyrim recorded first. Again, finish off Skyrim first, and everything will be kind of cool, but that's going to take a while to get. And basically, I do have some crap I need to get sold. It's sitting in the other room. I don't really like dealing with people. It's a pain in the ass for me. So I talked to my younger brother, and he might be selling it for me. And if he does get it sold for me, all of it actually, by the end of the month, then next month I can order the rest of the parts for the system, and there will be a very short delay in videos, if any delay at all. And for me, it'll just be 1 full month of not recording or really doing anything. But if he doesn't get any of that sold, then it's going to take 4 months before I actually get everything ordered and put in and everything and just swapped out, which is going to kind of suck. And yeah, I could take out the CPU and the RAM and sell it and sort of speed things along a bit, but then I wouldn't have a gaming computer to actually use, and I'd be stuck to my laptop. And yeah, I'm not going to be using it for gaming or anything, but there is stuff that I am using it for, including editing these videos. So it's just going to be a bit of a wait. Again, more waits, which kind of sucks. But when you're on SSI and you have this expensive ass hobby, kind of something that happens, you don't really have a whole lot of money, and your hobby is kind of expensive because you want to have the best shit there is. You don't want to just go budget $1,000 system or cheaper build. You want to have the best fucking thing you can actually build, and have some 2 graphics cards set up and some badass processor and go shit ton of RAM and be able to render and edit and crap load of stuff and just do awesome shit. That's kind of like how I am right now, is because I like having the most powerful fucking computer that I can get, and I like having it running quiet and just really fast and everything, but it's expensive and takes me a long time to actually save up for that. And partly the reason I want to do that is because if I go and I spend $1,000 or less on a computer, then I start seeing, oh, the frame rate's going below 60 frames a second areas, and I'll just be like, oh fuck, this is annoying, I don't want to deal with this. It's so laggy. Even though it's really not laggy, it could still, for $1,000, you can build a system that runs most games at 60 frames per second, but for those really demanding games, you won't be able to. And I like seeing the frame rate at 60 frames a second. After a while, you get used to it being up there all the time. And when it stops being up there and it starts dropping to where it's down at 30 frames a second or 40 frames a second or something, then you just start getting annoyed by it. And that's, I don't like seeing 30 or 40 frames a second anymore. It's just, I can't really stand it a whole lot anymore. On consoles, it's fine. It's acceptable to have a 30 frame per second as long as it never dips below 30. Shouldn't dip below 30 on console. But if it's always just at least a minimum of 30 on console, then yeah, it's fine, because it's a cheap console. And I don't mind that on console, but with a badass gaming computer, I want shit to be 60 frames per second. I want to have awesome graphics. I want it to be running amazing. And even if I have to wait a long time, then I'm going to be getting that. And yeah, I know, obviously, there's also my YouTube channel. I should just give it and do certain things in a certain way, sort of reduce the amount of time I'm having no videos up, but honestly, there's just no one really watching my videos anyways, so I'm just gonna do things the way I want to, because if people were watching my videos and my channel was popular, then obviously, yes, I would prioritize things more towards getting stuff up and running and going properly. But since my YouTube channel isn't really doing anything, it's not really going anywhere, still under 500 subscribers, I get single-digit views on videos, I don't see a point to prioritize that, and I want to go more towards my own enjoyment on the computer and everything. And even with the recording and everything, I use this mic and everything, it's sort of the same thing. I couldn't be satisfied with my mic or anything until I finally got this thing, and I finally got the EQ and everything set for it properly, and just try and solve every little problem, trying to perfect it as much as I possibly can. That's mostly for myself. It's not mostly for the people on YouTube. It's mostly for me. It's just something I want to do. So yeah, it's going to be a while before all that gets here. I did order the motherboard, as I mentioned, $255 motherboard. It's much better than paying $350 or so for the other one, which wouldn't actually be an upgrade or anything. It would just be annoying to deal with. But upgrading to DDR4 and a 5930K and everything, which is going to be kind of cool. So anyways, that's pretty much it. This is going to actually be the first ASRock motherboard I ever had. I had an Asus or Asus. I like saying Asus better than Asus, even though they came out with a video sometime way back, and they're all, the pronunciation for it is Asus, even though a lot of people are now saying Asus, even though, I don't know, I probably said that wrong. Asus, yeah, that's what they're saying, is Asus, even though the people at Asus actually came out and was all, it's Asus, like Asus, and yeah. So anyways, just rambling there. First ASRock board ever. Last one and the one I'm using now are both Asus, and I don't remember what was in my computer before that. I guess it was an HP, because it was some pre-built thing I got when I was in high school. So I guess since it was HP, it was just some HP motherboard, because I had, fuck, what was it? Well, I think it was, I don't know, it was some HP Pavilion system. I don't remember the actual model of it, but I upgraded that from AMD Athlon single core to a dual core and everything, and pretty much maxed it out. That's the system I did most of my computer learning stuff on. Then my last one I did a lot more on. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know with a comment, like, subscribe, and or a share. I know there's really nothing going on the screen here. I'll probably edit in some pictures along the way that you probably already saw, actually, of the motherboard and processor and just all that shit. So anyways, yeah, that's the end of the video. Go ahead and let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next video next week or on some other video. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.